I will say, like, and I'm not bragging, but like I was the epitome of health. I was the firefighter that watched what he ate, a firefighter that worked out and ran all the time, like prioritize sleep, prioritize all these things. And it still happened to me. And I just felt like, you know, every time that somebody would come up and be like, man, of all people, I can't believe it was you that got diagnosed. And I'm like, use that. Go to your doctor, get checkups, go get lab work.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Go do these things.
What's up, Camden County? You are catching episode 83 of the Getting in Your Business podcast. I'm your host, Allison Shores from the Camden County Chamber of Commerce. This Getting in Your Business podcast is made possible by our Chairman Circle sponsors, Georgia's Own Credit Union, Lockheed, Comcast, Georgia Power Company, Sparklight, Plug Power, St. Mary's DDA, TDS Telecom, and Ameris Bank. Thank you to all of our sponsors. All right, guys, today I have somebody very cool in the studio, and I cannot wait for y'all to meet him. His name is Pat Long, and he is from the Decon Project. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time. So you are a new chamber member, and before we dive into all the Decon Project, because I can't wait for people to learn, I want to know a little bit about you.
Yeah.
How you got to Camden County, all the things. So let's start there.
Of course. Not really the craziest of stories, but we've been living in Camden County now for a little over 4 years.
Okay.
It's been amazing. We're in North Camden. And we love it. We love telling people where we live, and they're like, where?
Where?
Y'all have a Dollar General there.
Yeah.
Like, we do, man.
We do.
And that's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
But yeah, so my wife and I met in North Atlanta, Gwinnett County. And I had played college baseball there at Georgia Gwinnett College. Got out. I knew I was going to marry her, but I was starting to look at different, like, you know, I graduated with a business degree. I tried my hand at logistics.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for me. I'm just not an office guy. No offense to those that are, but it wasn't for me.
No, I get it.
And so I'd been challenged by a couple guys to look into the fire service, and it was fantastic. Like, I knew pretty much my first shift there at Gwinnett County when I was doing third rides that I was hooked. Like, I was doing something I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
And I believe God just kind of gave me that mission. I was able to pursue it. And so, I was there for a year, and man, long story short, ended up having to, I technically got fired. They have what's called a 0 to hero program. It's very challenging, but they take a dude off the street and put him through essentially a year and a half of training. You get your EMT, medic, Fire 1, Fire 2 at that time. That's what they did. And so me having zero experience, you dive into medic school, like, there's a lot of catch up. And I failed the last exam of medic school twice.
Listen, I couldn't do medic anything. Yeah,
it was tough. And I'll say this, God's good, man. I don't fail easily. I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, and I've been a medic now for almost 7 years, which is super cool. But in that time, I was like, okay, you know, I had a whole big bite of humble pie, and Cassie and I just got married, and we just found out we were expecting my daughter. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so at that time, starting to like look around and apply for different fire departments around there. And a friend of mine was like, hey, I know a lieutenant down at Glenn County.
Yeah.
I'm going to call in a favor. I know they're hiring. I know it's crazy, but maybe you should go. And I'm like, well, I went to school at Jacksonville University for 2 years and used to go visit buddies up at St. Simon's and all that. So I was like, that's a really cool area. You know, I know it's away from family, but after praying on it for a couple weeks, my wife was just like, hey, if God lines this up, let's do it. And he did. And we came down here not really knowing anybody, not knowing much of anything, not even really having like a stable job set up except for the fire service. My wife, you know, I'm so thankful the risks and the leap of faith that she took in trusting in me. But needless to say, I was with Glenn County for a little over 6 years, and then had the opportunity to go to Kings Bay Fire Department.
Okay.
And I've been there for 3.5. So incredible. And I've had such a blast. Like I said, I'm a paramedic now and have been for like almost 6 years,
Yeah.
I think. So yeah, 6 years. I've had to recert twice. So super cool. And I love everything about Camden County. Like,
I was going to ask, do you love Camden County?
We love it. We love where we live. We love that, man, the proximity to Jacksonville, the proximity to Savannah. Like, I mean, we talk about, we're in the middle of two of the, cooler cities in our opinion around here that we just love visiting.
Yeah.
And anytime we have friends, family, and we'll take them out to Jekyll, St. Simon's, even go out to Cumberland, which Cumberland's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And so just have had a blast, and we feel like we're exactly where God wants us. And, as crazy as a year as this been, being home and just feeling like, man, you can just take a deep breath, relax, be at home. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Well, you were saying like, it's been a tough year.
Yeah.
So I researched a lot of the Decon Project, and I was trying to figure out who you were and what was
Right.
what was all this about.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell people kind of what you've been through since February.
Yeah.
Because it's been a tough journey. So
Go
ahead, talk about that a little bit.
Really, even before February last year, my whole story kind of starts with what I call the bump. Like, that's kind of what we've named it. But one day I was shaving. It's probably like late August of last year. Shaving, obviously, firefighters shave every day. We got to be clean shaven. And I felt a bump kind of like right below my left ear. Didn't really think much about it. Obviously, like, I know enough about medical to know, okay, that's probably some kind of like lymphatic system. Maybe I'm about to get a cold.
Yeah.
The bump didn't hurt, which now I know, like, sometimes the bumps that don't hurt are the ones that are the bad ones.
Oh.
Didn't know that. And at that time, but I was just like, okay, man, I'm probably about to get a cold. I showed my wife, and she was like, yeah, that's kind of weird, but let's just keep an eye on it. Kind of kept kicking and got through the month. Well, at that time, I'd been training really, really hard for a very vigorous, like intense firefighting course.
Okay.
Where you go and you learn, like, all these different, like, Mayday drills, self-rescue, partner rescue, things like that. It was really cool. Yeah. And I had been training really, really hard for it. Felt like I was in the best shape of my life. Well, I go up there, and on day one, I ended up getting what they call rhabdo. I don't know if you've heard of rhabdo. But
no,
it's essentially
rhabdo?
Yeah. It's essentially your body has expelled all fuel sources. Your body functions kind of off of fats and sugars. But then after that, it's like, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to burn proteins. And so it pulls that from your muscles. It's very painful. It can make you sick. It can actually be lethal in some ways. And I was like, man, I'm like, this was a hard day, but this wasn't that hard. I don't know what's really going on. So I ended up going to the hospital. They're like, pump me full of fluids, tell me that my liver enzymes and my kidney enzymes are like way off. And they're like, but maybe that's just the rhabdo, whatever. Come home, kind of get distracted by the fact that I came home, and like later that week is when we had the hurricanes and all that stuff coming through. Needless to say, I didn't really think about the bump that much, but after about a month, I'm like, all this going on, like, I think my bump is a little bit bigger. And my wife was looking at it, and she was like, yeah, let's, kind of do the same. Went to my primary care. I showed her and kind of told her what was causing me some worry. And she goes, look, Pat, like, we'll do some labs. We'll kind of take an eye on it, or keep an eye on it. But she's like, your labs are coming back like, I think she said, like, they're like the labs of an Olympian. Like, she was just like, you're really, really healthy. Everything looks great. Like, and no blame to her. Like, she did exactly what most doctors would do. And just not really thinking that a 32-year-old at that time that appears to be really healthy would be, battling cancer. You didn't even know it. But anyways, another month goes by. I go in and get checked out again. I'm like, I think it's growing. Well, at that point, she was like, let's go and just in a way to shut me up, was just like, let's go and get an ultrasound, and they did an ultrasound on my neck and my shoulder and ended up finding like 40 different bumps in there. And they were like, oh, that's not good. I think we need to go and get this biopsied, get it biopsied. All the holidays, not only, for podcasting, but also for medical, can be a bit of a tough time. So you're just sitting there waiting. Just your patience is being tested. You're like, oh my goodness.
Well, you're probably worried, like, what is wrong? What is going on?
And this whole time I feel amazing. Like, really? I feel great. I'm running 5Ks, 10Ks.
You weren't tired or anything?
I will tell you this, and it's kind of like the end of the story, but I'll say it now, is like now that I feel the way that I do now, I realize like, oh, I did have cancer.
Oh, okay,
like,
gotcha.
My symptoms were so minor that I wrote them off a lot as because I was being a firefighter.
Just life, yeah.
Yeah, like a firefighter, husband, father of two crazy kids. Like the fatigue was minimal, but there.
Yeah.
I had low back pain
really?
For like 6-7 months. And I'm like, well, every firefighter has low back pain, whatever. But I'll kind of touch on that a little bit later. But yeah, so finally get the results from the biopsy. He diagnosed me with follicular lymphoma.
Okay.
Follicular lymphoma is, they were like, hey, it's okay. This is you do have cancer, but this is really, really slow forming. Like we should be able to get ahead of this. Like it looks like we've caught it early. And then so they get me in touch with an oncologist. We go in. First thing he does is order a PET scan. About a month later, I get my PET scan. And then a week later, we go in and review. And he was like, hey, bad news. Like, this is common in non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, but it'll do what we call jumping over. It'll transition from one to another, depending on the rate of growth or whatever. So he's like, it's actually diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, which is highly aggressive. It grows really, really quickly. And I have a picture I can show you. It's on my social media as well. But after reviewing my PET scan, it kind of looked like I got peppered by a 12-gauge shotgun about 6-7 times. I ended up having a little over 100 tumors throughout my body. And I had no clue. And it was, they were all in my abdomen, had really no idea that was going on. And he was like, this is going to completely change the treatment. So you're going to have to do a week in the hospital because the chemotherapy that they gave me was really, really, it's a slow drip. It's very potent and powerful. And, you're going to have to do 6 rounds of that. And so like at the beginning, when I was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma, they were just like, hey, you'll go sit in a chair for hour and a half, get your treatment. You'll feel a little cruddy for maybe a day or two, but then you can keep working. But this one, it was like, no, you can't work. Your white blood cell count's going to plummet, all that. So like, I almost really got diagnosed with cancer twice, know? And so there's nothing like being told that you've got something going on, especially for me. I'm just there because I've got this bump in my neck. Like,
you just wanted to check out this bump.
Not because I feel like I'm sick or dying or anything. And I'll tell you this, God is so good. Like he took the fear completely away. Like I didn't, and he surrounded me with people that the more that I'm in the fire service, the more that I'm like, okay, the calls and the actions are in the action, going to a cool fire, that is part of the job. And don't get me wrong, that's exhilarating. It is. You don't want anybody to lose their home, anybody to be hurt, but that is our job. Like that's what we train for. But the more that I'm around it, it's the brotherhood, that camaraderie that just keeps you coming back every single day. And so, and my guys, I'll brag on Kings Bay. Like they were so supportive. They rallied around me like more than I could have ever imagined. But also local fire departments. My guys at Glenn, the guys at BFD, Brunswick Fire, St. Mary's and Kingsland, Camden, like so many guys, like guys I didn't even know were just like doing fundraising, rallying around. The support.
That's why I love this community so much. Oh yeah.
And the support was unbelievable. And then, dude, I had like a department from outside of Seattle, like on the GoFundMe that my family raised, like pour some money in. It was just amazing. And so I did not feel alone at all. I felt really, really strong, really motivated. Obviously, I just have to look to my family, and I've got a lot to fight for.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, what was supposed to be a very difficult and challenging battle with chemo, God carried me through. I did not suffer. I felt really good up until really the last 2 rounds. The last 2 rounds I kind of felt cruddy, but more just weak and exhausted. Yeah. It does take its course.
It does.
Man, I learned so much.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I bet that made you like dive into, okay,
oh yeah,
why do I have this? How did I get it? What did, all the things that would make me ask questions.
I'll tell you, and you probably agree. We've been like so hardened to cancer. There's so many cancer stories that nowadays it's like our heart goes out, but it's like almost I don't want to know what I don't know. Yeah. And so for me, that was no different. Being a guy that's in the medical field and seeing like some really tough and hard things, I'll be honest, cancer wasn't one of those that was like really coming across. I'm going to patients that are having a heart attack or, getting in a car accident. Yeah. I'm not going to cancer patient. You just my eyes weren't open to that battle. But then when it happens to you, you dive in. And obviously you trust your doctors, you trust everybody around you, but you're also like, my doctors are fighting this 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, but this is my battle every waking minute, like every single minute of every single day. This is my battle. And so I was like, I got to start finding things that I can do to help. And also, man, it just shrunk the world. The fire service is already it makes the world so much smaller. Like, a buddy of a buddy that works for this department anywhere in the world. And, but then being contacted by firefighters that have gone through cancer and them just giving you motivation and them telling you, hey brother, like, this is what to expect. If you need anything, I'm praying for you. I got you, like calling me and checking on me. It was just unbelievable. And, so man, I just, needless to say, the Brotherhood is really what kept me squared away and focused on it all. And man, my door was never closed. I had guys visiting me at all times. Incredible. And that kind of leads us to,
I was about to say, so like, I think your passion for the Brotherhood and like your experience and everything kind of led you to the Decon Project. And so I want you to tell people like what you were telling me earlier. Yeah. Like when you say decon. Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. Right.
Yeah. Decon is obviously slang term for decontamination.
Yes.
So when we go to a fire, the goal is go put the fire out, and then you get back and you're like, hey, let's go decon. You're going to wash your gear, try and wash the trucks off, wash the hoses. And then you're going to go rinse off, wash out, get into new fresh clothes. And that's kind of our little step of decon,
So that's the protocol.
Yeah. Different departments have different protocols. That's our goal actually with the Decon Project, is to kind of establish a standard of like, hey, this is some things that need to be provided to each and every department. But
let's talk about that, because the contamination part, something I was reading on your website, like I said earlier, I don't think about these things. So when I read on there that like the toxins from all the chemicals and stuff that you're around goes in, it's on your gear, it's on your skin, it's on your equipment. And so while you do wash those things off and stuff, but at the same time, like it's in your skin. Yeah. And can you get those things off just with soap and water? That's my other question. But
fantastic question.
But I think people just don't know that happens. And so, I think it's important for us to take care of the people that take care of us. And so I think this is phenomenal that you're doing this. But let's talk about some of the things that you're wanting to add to, fire departments and stuff so that they can have, some safety stuff.
Yeah, so just based off of statistics alone, firefighter is 9% more likely to develop workplace cancer than any other profession.
And that is like, I never, until I met you, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
And so now you've got me all burning with
Well,
this stuff.
yeah, I mean, in so many times people are like, oh, that fire that you went to, that's what helped cause it, or oh, that hazmat call. But in reality, it's just our job is small exposures, time after time after time after time. That's life, and that's how you develop anything. And so I think like diesel exhaust fumes in the bay. I think like just the carcinogens that our gear can carry around, the cleaning agents that we use, the cleaning supplies that we use for washing trucks, washing everything. They're all toxic.
Yeah.
And we just have to weigh that toxin to us is, I guess, worth cleaning whatever apparatus we're doing or anything like that. But, so some of the things that we know is how beneficial sauna is. So that was like kind of when I was
sauna, like the heat, like sitting in the sauna heat.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
steam and stuff.
yeah, I mean, without really even getting super scientific on it, like a sauna, being exposed to the elevated temperatures, not only is it great for your cardiovascular, but it opens up your pores and it helps actually flush out when we're sweating. Our body's doing a pretty decent job of deconning some of those toxins. We're opening up those pores. We're cleaning out. So we teamed up with a company called Saunas, and they are fantastic, super cool to work with. And our goal is when we go in to put a sauna in every fire station. We say in America, but we're starting right here in Southeast Georgia.
Yes.
And then what I'll do is I'll kind of just go through some of all the companies that we teamed up with. I think it'll kind of paint a picture. So we teamed up with Saunas, fantastic. We want a sauna in every station. Then we teamed up with a company called Flame Decon. They're a body soap and shampoo, and they are packed with activated charcoal. I don't know if you've ever heard of activated charcoal, but
I've heard, but I don't. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, what activated charcoal is it's an adsorbent. So it actually binds to toxins and pulls them out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so you'll see it in like activated charcoal, toothpaste.
I was about to say, I see the toothpaste. Yeah.
And so what it's trying to do is it's kind of trying to bind and pull all those toxins, plaque, whatever it may be. So they're fantastic, and they've got a lot of other products, but that's what we're wanting to bring to the fire station. I'll say this: it makes no sense to go and quote unquote decon and then lather up with Old Spice because there's more toxins in Old Spice than there is in most fires that we go to. So no offense to Old Spice. I get it. You got a product, but you're, not great. Yeah. And so some of the ones that smell the best are not the best either. But anyways, then we've teamed up with a company called Protect Supplements, and they're a hydration and sleep supplement. So this actually just came out, but shift work is now known as a level 2 carcinogen, shift work. Well, firefighting, that's all we do is shift work. We're 24 on, 24 off, 48 on, 48 off, you name it. And the fact that anytime the bell rings, we got to go to a call. So 3 a.m., you might not sleep,
Yeah.
That's a known carcinogen. We know how important sleep is, things like that. So they make a sleep aid. It's non-habit forming. It doesn't have melatonin. It just kind of helps your body recover a little bit during that sleep. Whatever, if you get 2 hours, you wake up, hey, it stinks, but at least you got a deep sleep and you're able to recover some. But they also have electrolytes, right? So after we sweat, after we go to these crazy calls, especially in the Southeast, you're kind of sweating all the time anyways. You're replenishing those electrolytes. I mean, our heart works off of electrolytes, everything, our enzymes, everything in our body works off of electrolytes. So it just makes perfect sense to replenish what you sweat out. And then we teamed up with a company called Fire Wipes. And so they're like I kind of joke around about it, but Creston, their owner, they've been around for a long time, but they're essentially like a baby wipe on steroids is kind of what we talk about. But they're a big wipe that as soon as, let's say you went into a fire, as soon as you get out of the fire, any like soft spots, hot spots, neck, hands, forearms, face, you just wipe down with that wipe, and you're just rapidly deconning in clearing up the pores, any soot that may be on you, things like that. Because, you know, firefighter, you going in, you're pulling ceiling, you're crawling through this, you know, quite honestly, charred environment where you're just rolling around in carcinogens. So you're just rapidly wiping down.
And I'm going to be honest with you, as far as firefighting goes, I mean, I have it in my head, like what I think you guys go through, but I probably don't even know all the things. No. Like I can't even fathom all, because you're going into somebody's house. It's not always your house. It's somebody else's. There's no telling what they could have in there or what they're doing or, you know, what's going on. So, you know, where this house is, you know, what happens to be burning on the property.
You're exactly
I have not thought about all those things. So I can't imagine all the things that you don't even know you're coming in contact with, you know?
I mean, a little bit about firefighting and some of the things is like, as we make homes quicker and the quality of the home maybe isn't the same as what our grandparents had.
I was just talking about that the other day.
The things that are burning inside the home, you know, the couch isn't just a cotton ball with wool inside, you know, now it's, I mean, polyester, you know, whatever.
All the things.
Everything that burns inside a home now is 5 times more toxic than it used to be. And
see, I haven't even thought about that, but yes, that is so true. Like, so especially the way things are made.
Plastics, all the, just everything. It's really harsh. And, but that our job hasn't changed. We still are expected to go in, find the people, put the fire out. That's our job. So we're willing to risk that. We just have to understand that there's a lot more that we're being exposed to than there was even 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, going back to, and then, so I brought up Fire Wipes, incredible product. And then finally, we partnered up with a company called UDS. And so they go in and they've already been established. They've been doing this really since September 11th of 2001 is kind of where they got this. But they will come to a department and provide ultrasounds and also Doppler for the heart. The 2 killers of the fire service are cancer and cardiac. And so they're able to go through and do kind of exactly what I had when my very first scan, when it showed me on my neck and my shoulder, all the bumps. They can't maybe diagnose through it, but their whole goal is to scan you, find any abnormalities.
Early detection.
And exactly. And then say, hey, firefighter Long, we found something, you know, it might not be anything we can't tell you, but you need to get in touch with your primary and pursue this more. But they've also, man, they'll find, you know, heart defects, murmurs, you know, really nerdy, but like beats with bigimini PVCs, things like that. They'll find that and be like, hey, did you know you had this? Firefighter's like, no way. I had no clue. Like I thought that was normal, you know? So they're legitimately saving lives. So we have those 5 companies and kind of, that's what we want to bring is when we show up to a department, the first thing that we do normally is obviously we're very tapped into the local area. And so we'll call up a department and we'll say, hey, you know, Chief, my name's Pat. Like, this is kind of what we're wanting to do. How many firefighters and people in admin do you do? And he may say 50. Well, how many stations do you have? We have 2 stations. How many first line rigs do you have? So that's firefighter term for if a fire went out in the middle of the county or the middle of your area, how many trucks are going to be dispatched to that one? And then that what we'll do is take that into account to the fire wipes. We'll put a bag of fire wipes on each first line rig.
All at no cost to the fire station, right? Like that's what we're trying to do here.
This is, we are raising funds, quite honestly, the hard way, right? But the honest way, man, we are, this is donation based. We are doing some fundraisers and teaming up with some fundraisers. So we're going to do it as well. But yeah, our goal is to provide this at no cost to the department. So, and
I just want to say one thing really quick. You are a 501c3.
We sure are.
You are a nonprofit organization.
We sure are.
So all donations are, you know, tax exempt. So.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, I was going to hit on that a little bit, but I appreciate you saying that.
Well, I just think it's important that you're not just willy-nilly doing this. You have actually gone through the process and doing it and set it up correctly. Right. And I think that's important to note.
So it's funny, actually going back to that, like I don't have much of an Instagram following, but that kind of, my very first thought was like, oh, I'll just reach out to a sauna company and say, hey, can I do a product review? And then I'll just donate it. And somebody was like, well, that's a great idea, but I think you need to think bigger. And that's kind of where the 501c3 came. I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're bringing all those in, and, we're going to give a bottle of Flame Decon soap to each firefighter. We're going to give a box of the sleep and electrolyte blend from Protect to each firefighter. And then for like over the span of really however long it takes, the goal would be like 3-4 days. UDS is actually going to set up and put every firefighter on shift, every admin, like fire chiefs, everybody, through a scan. And that scan takes about 15 to 20 minutes per average, as far as doing the ultrasound and the Doppler on the heart. And then they'll be able to get in touch with them, and they'll have telehealth. So they actually have doctors on the phone say, hey, this is kind of what we saw, or hey, everything looks good.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everything's perfect, but everything on our end looks really, really good. And that should give that firefighter some peace of mind. And also, like you said, early detection, which is the biggest thing. That's something I didn't have, because mine was stage 3, really almost like we joke around like stage 3.5.
Yeah.
Of where my cancer was. And, turns out, based off of what my doctor was saying, it probably had been there growing for the last 2 or 3 years prior to me seeing that bump.
Wow.
And so, man, I would have loved to have had a scan.
Right. What if you had had a scan and you could have known that? And I think what's so cool about your story is, this happened to you, with cancer. You got through it, but it I hate to say that it sprung up a fire in you, but or lit a fire is what I should say. Yeah. Lit a fire under you. Like it made you, but you have such passion around it. Not only,
sure do.
You want to protect your brotherhood,
Oh yeah. Well, man,
I just think that's really cool.
Thank you. I think about I really do think about the guys that have been doing this 20, 30 years and never had a scan. And they're walking around like, I will say, like, and I'm not bragging, but like I was the epitome of health. I was the firefighter that watched what he ate, a firefighter that worked out and ran all the time, like prioritize sleep, prioritize all these things. And it still happened to me. And I just felt like, every time that somebody would come up and be like, man, of all people, I can't believe it was you that got diagnosed. And I'm like, use that. Go to your doctor, get checkups, go get lab work.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Go do these things. It's kind of like the fear of going to the dentist. Like, you don't want to go to the dentist because you don't want to be told you have a cavity. Ugh. But then in reality, like, the longer you neglect it, the worse that cavity gets. Right. If we catch it early, it's not that much of a problem. If you catch it 3 years from now, like, now you got to have a whole thing done. Well, that was
a pretty good way to put it.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing. Like, a lot of people don't want to know what they don't know.
Agreed.
And the fear of finding out something like overcomes the fear of just being like, okay, well, maybe I don't have anything, but I'm not living the healthiest of lives. Like, let's find some ways I can do it. Going back to the Decon Project, like that is at its core. I'll bring up this word. It's called the standard. And so like in firefighting and in all business, you have standards. Like you want to establish the standard of something. And that's where we got started is we noticed, especially in the Southeast, that we are severely behind on things like cancer detection, even just station quality of life. If you go out west, there are departments where they've got world-class gyms, they've got a sauna, they've got their bunker gear in this like vacuum sealed area where and that's amazing. But that really should be going on everywhere. Well, until we can kind of catch up, obviously in the state of Georgia, we're like typically tied with 49th or 50th lowest paid state for firefighters.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty humbling. Yeah. Even with some of the major cities that we have, like Atlanta and Savannah, things like that, those firefighters you compare them to other cities, not even half their size, and they're paid way less.
Wow.
Departments are hurting, and we all are. Where every chief, I don't ever envy any chief because they are battling between, hey, we've got this much money, we've got to get new fire hose, new engines. We've got overtime out the wazoo. Every fire department right now is battling with overtime. And my guys are wanting health care. Well, I can only cover maybe 1 or 2 of those. Well, I've got to get a new engine, you know, because public needs to see that we got a new engine.
Yeah.
And so we see that there needs to be a standard set where that healthcare comes first, because I don't mind saying it. I was very, very blessed and was able to get workers' comp, which is very rare for firefighters diagnosed with cancer. And overall, just in my treatment alone, I cost over $1.2 million.
Wow.
You know, if we go into a department and give all these guys scans and give them some tools, a sauna to use to help detox, whatever it may be, or decon, and it cost us $30,000 to go into that department and do that for all of those people, and we catch something early. Well, not only is it helping Joe Firefighter stick around, find something early, now he's not having to go through that. It's saving the department and the community, because you know, Camden County, we pride ourselves in being strong taxpayers, all that stuff, and being very supportive of our community and the firefighters and the police that support us. Well, when one of those firefighters, police officers gets diagnosed with cancer, it's coming out of our that's where our taxes are going. So wouldn't we love to know that there's a standard across the board to where they're finding those things early?
Yes.
That's exactly.
Or helping prevent them.
Yeah. Like,
you know,
oh my goodness. I mean, prevention is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know, we joke around in the fire service about prevention, the inspectors, and that they don't really tote the hose, but they prevent and save more lives than anybody. Like Fire Prevention Week, going and doing the goofy smoke detector checks. Those are all in place because they save way more lives than we do. As the guy, if we're showing up, the issue's already happened. They're being proactive. So proactivity is key. And then finding it early is, you know, and so that's what the Decon Project aims to do. We were talking off air, but like our goal really is to do so well at this that we and raise so much awareness that departments and states adopt this as this is standard. My goal would be that the state of Georgia go in and write in like, hey, we're setting aside a budget, and each and every, you know, maybe every 2 years, we're going to give a grant to that department to bring in a company to do scans and to make sure that the saunas are running and to make sure all these things are there. That's our goal. So we every meeting that we have with the Decon Project with my board, we throw up a prayer and then we say, hey, remember, our goal really is to put ourselves out of business, right? And I think that should be every business's goal, is to raise enough awareness to where like the job doesn't have to be done anymore. That's kind of what we do. In the fire service, that's our goal, is we would love for there to be no more fires and no more emergencies. We know that will never happen.
Right.
But the more that we can prepare and be proactive, the less likely.
Yeah.
And that's our job with the Decon Project, is that's what we're wanting to do. So
now I want you to tell people how they can get involved. Because I know Kanan's going to kick me out of here soon, but how can our people in Camden County and Glenn County and anybody that can, you know, hear this and see this, how can they help?
100%. Yeah. I mean, at the minimum, share, like, follow along. But we do have a website, thedeconproject.com. I'm super blessed that URL was like available. I didn't.
Well, it's so cool too. I was on your website earlier and I was like, oh, this is
Thank you.
Yeah, you did a good job.
The website guys did incredible for us, because I'm a firefighter. That's not me.
Oh, it's not me. Yeah.
But yeah, you can go on there. We have a portal where you can donate. We are. I do have a sales team as well that are making phone calls and reaching out, and we're also fundraising. But man, if you feel like, man, you want to get involved in any way, I also have all my info on there, whether it be time, whether it be, you know, helping out with any kind of tasks. Like, we'll take it. You know, we're trying to get the ball rolling, but donations are huge, because we know that with a lot of this stuff, the proof is in the pudding. So we just got off the rails really, and are rolling. I'm sorry, got on the rails. We're rolling. And
I didn't even catch it.
We launched and we've had some great success. Like, people, we're raising funds, but the goal really is for that first department that we're wanting to go to is about the $30,000 mark. That's what we need to raise to bring in and do all that. And we know it takes a big leap of faith. There's no proof yet in what we've done. I know that it'll be a lot easier as we start having some of those videos of us going to, and people see where they're at. So this first couple departments that we're trying to tackle and to bring in, those are going to be some of the toughest ones for us to raise funds for. But we feel really, really confident in what we're doing. The support's been amazing. And please, if you want to go on our website, donate. Every dollar really does help. And it's only going to help us help more lives. I mean, we go into one department and help 50 firefighters. Well, you got to think all the lives that are impacted by that person. Yeah. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. God bless you for any help and any support that you guys give. And we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Now you're also on Facebook, and are you on Instagram?
On Instagram. I typically Instagram more than anything. And we also have a YouTube page right now. It's Firefighter Devotionals. It's called the Daily Decon.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it's funny. It's not daily. It's twice a week. But the name sounded great. So we do that every Monday and Wednesday. We release a video. Sometimes it's just me kind of talking about some things that I'm thinking about and praying over. And sometimes I use a devotional from actually one of the guys in our board. He's a fire chief, and he also has a firefighter devotional. It's really awesome.
That's cool.
And it's called Flames of Faith. But yeah, man, God's just got his hand all over it. We feel really mission focused, and I know that we're going to do some great things. But all this, I'll tell the listeners as well. All of this, we're not going to some department way off the beaten path. Like, this is the departments right here in our backyard, the people that serve us. So obviously Brunswick, Glenn, but also Camden, St. Mary's, Kingsland, Kings Bay. Like we've got 4 fire departments just right here in this county.
I know.
And it's nuts. And so the things that we can do just locally is going to be huge.
And I love that you started here. In Camden County. So,
I mean, these are, maybe I'm biased, but these are my brothers. Like, these are the people that I consider like family, friends.
Absolutely.
These are the guys that I've worked with and fought fire with and run medical calls with. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's the easiest place to start because of this is my family.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think this is really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with this. How God sees you through. It's just it's going to be amazing. And yeah, we're so excited to have you in the chamber, and we're so excited that you're here in our community, and that you're doing this. I think it's needed. I think it's very cool. And you're not only educating people, you're raising awareness, because people like me, I don't have any firefighters in my family. I don't,
That's right.
I don't know. Yeah. So just being able to know that and know that this is a thing, and I can think about it and figure out the way. So I just think awareness, the education, and then, actually trying to do some preventative stuff. I think this is wonderful.
Thank you. Being in the fire service, we're kind of like the unthought of person until we're thought of, right? Yeah. So like nobody thinks about the fire service every day. Yeah. That's our job. Yeah. But when you have a medical emergency, when you have a fire, like, we're the first people you think of. And we are expected to dominate every single time. We can't show up and give a half effort or not complete the job. The mission has to be completed every time we're called. So we hold ourselves to a really high standard, and we're kind of okay with not being thought of every single day. But that's why we need to bring some awareness and bring some of that up to the public, so that they know some of the battles that we're facing.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Pat. I really appreciate it. So we look forward to seeing what all's going to happen.
Thank you very much, and God bless. I appreciate it.
You too. All right. Thanks, guys. You have caught episode 83 of the Get In Your Business podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe, and check out the Decon Project.